On average, I would say that I have 2 sessions a day. Normally one of them is like a cardio related session,
That's insane.
as in running or cycling or swimming, and the other one can be a gym session or something more fun. There wasn't anything extreme for us to run 2 times 20 kilometers a day line. I do believe that with marathons and half marathons, the biggest achievement is that you made it there healthy on the start line and that you've put all the work in there. I believe a lot of people think that, oh, if I'm preparing for a half marathon, I gotta do as many kilometers as I can. Wrong.
Other one, older. I'm gonna do it again. Okay. Hey everyone, my name is Mathieu Edam, and you are watching Everyday Heroes, the podcast where I am celebrating the athletes all around us who prove that greatness is in the common days. This is the place for them to tell their stories and hopefully inspire you to also do great things. And today I am with Esther.
Hey, Mathieu, thank you for the opportunity.
Esther used to be a professional athlete, professional runner and athlete. And she is still the fastest woman I know in Lisbon. And I had the misfortune several times to run with her on her easy pace. And now I know that this was a mistake. Hello.
Don't make me blush, please.
How was the presentation?
Great. Thank you for
Yeah.
having me. I'm very impressed by your skills.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So you've started doing international races when you were quite young. But you said to me that in the beginning you did not really like it. What happened there?
Yes, that's true. Like it took me a little while to get into it. For a context, I started athletics when I was around 11 years old. I followed the footpaths of my dad, basically, who did long distance running and long jump at a time. And I thought it was a great idea to basically copy him. And I started with athletics. However, as a, preteen, I would say, I didn't really have this competitive vibe in me yet. It took me a little while to develop. Also, my parents were kind of protecting me from the competitive environment. But at some point, we came to a point where I just wanted it.
Why did you start it? Like, was it a reason behind it, or were you just pushed by your parents?
I think it was more a push from my coach to start competing. He just saw the potential and the talent in me, and he said that it would be a waste not to show it out there. So I gave it a chance, and needless to say, I became addicted to it.
Yeah, okay. Because you told me also that it's easy when you do things so intensively to get lost into it. That this happened to you?
Definitely. To summarize up my teenage years, it was about training, eating, and repeating. Weekends competing and neglecting social connections or anything that wasn't related to sports. Actually,
At some point, you were more prioritizing sport and running in general rather than anything else.
I would say yes. I mean, I always kept a very strong eye on studying, and I never neglected that. But spending time with my family for sure wasn't my priority, which now looking back, I regret. Spending time with friends was also one of my, least prioritized things. I spent a lot of time with my training mates on the track and with my coach or on competitions or somewhere out there in the world competing. But yeah, that was pretty much my routine for
Okay.
8 years.
Like, okay, 8 years, and like how often and how long are we talking about? Like a weekly hours of training. How long was it?
I would say between September and May, probably I had a training once a day. They would last somewhere between 2 to 3 hours. And in summertime,
3 hours of running?
not only running, like stretching and mobility also included, also including the warm up and the cool down and the time we took in between the sets, of course, to discuss our everyday lives. And well, in the summer break from May to September, sometimes we would have double sessions. We would implement swimming once in a while or have kind of gymnastic classes where we put mobility in focus. or just having double sessions. There wasn't anything extreme for us to run 2 times 20 kilometers a day.
Okay, and you also participated in international races.
Yes.
How was it like at such a young age?
I loved it. I really did love it. It was a very great opportunity for me to see the world, to get to know other cultures, which I believe I was also a very big fond of from a very young age on. Um, and I could only see the high parts of it, like, oh, I get to travel, I got to wear the national kit, they pay for everything, it's such a cool environment. So I treated it as kind of like a holiday, which I never had because, as you know, athletics is kind of a summer sport. So whenever your friends would go on holidays or your family,
You
you,
never had holidays like as a
not
kid?
really. I mean, when I started athletics, not really. I was on the track, training, competing. So international races were kind of the holidays for me, I believe.
Okay, wow. And you told me one day when we were running that you had kind of a problem with your coach where he was maybe pushing you too much or asking you too intense stuff. How did it go? And also, do you think you are this good because of course you put up the work, but do you think you are this good because of the clubs and the coaches, or do you think you could have done it by yourself?
Well, it's a very complicated question. And every time I think back at the times I have a kind of a love-hate relationship with this person. He's great. Like, don't misunderstand me. He's 85 years old at the moment. So he's a person that grew up in very different times and believes in very different methods. And he was fond of not having rest days, for example, which clearly resulted in us having a lot of injuries, which clearly made me kind of hate the sport. Like, being injured all the time recurrently wasn't a great thing, clearly. But he also made me the person I am today, which I'm very thankful for. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be as consistent and as resilient as I am today. So for that, forever, I'm gonna be thankful for him.
Is this what you told me? Like he made you the person you are today, meaning resilience and not giving up?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And clearly without him, it would have not been possible to achieve what I did. I also think that with another coach who's a bit more educated on the current methods, let's put it that way, I could have done better, I think.
What are your greatest accomplishment to these days? With him or maybe without also?
Well, I'm not sure if I can name one event that I'm particularly proud of. I would say it's just the overall process that I never gave up. I had many setbacks, including tearing many tendons or breaking a bone or having very severe injuries where even like professionals and doctors were like, what the hell happened to you? And even after those, I never gave up. I always fought my way back to the elite league, and every year I managed to stand at the start line of the national championships, and I'm very proud of that. That I managed to keep consistent for over a decade and kept showing up.
And also that leads me to a very important question because you've been injured a lot. So I guess you learned the lesson. So what would you say caused the injury, and what do you do today to prevent getting injured again?
Another good question. Well, clearly it has two aspects: a mental and a physical one. Physically talking, not having a rest day was a very suicidal move. And I blindly believed him that if he says I need to run 7 times a week or 10 times a week, I will do that. Now I know that this is not something a professional would do, and you do need to give your body the rest it requires. And I do take it seriously to take days off and listen to my body. Maybe one day I would have a hard session, but my body feels awful. I'm going to listen to it and just not do it, or do it another day. Also complementing all the running with gym or other cross training, as in swimming or just going climbing, which I really enjoy, or cycling. All these things I think are very important. And it also comes with a mental aspect that you get tired of running. Imagine you're running 20 kilometers every day. Your mind's going to tell you to stop. And if you keep pushing yourself, eventually you're going to break bones, quite literally. So I think it's very important to give like the mental rest for yourself as well and recharge somehow else than running. If you want to stay active, it's completely fine. Do something else, as I mentioned, swimming, hiking, or another form of activities. And I think it's a very, very big part of prevention.
Yeah, I think this is, I agree very much with what you said because I have trouble to understand unless you are, even if you are very passionate about it, how one can run every day 120 kilometers or 100 kilometers, like, and only do this. I mean, at some point you need a bit of diversity, or so you are also cycling, swimming, and climbing, right?
Yes.
How many hours a week, and also going to the gym? How many? So between going to the gym, cycling, swimming, running, and climbing, do you know how many hours a week you are training?
I do believe that I actually train more in hours than I did back in the days when I was a professional runner. Um, it's also because I just take the time to do things more properly. And also, it's okay to take rest in between sets to chat with people. It's also part of the process. I mean, clearly, you got to balance it out. Um, on average, I would say that I have 2 sessions a day. Normally, one of them is like a cardio related session,
That's insane.
as in running or cycling or swimming, and the other one can be a gym session or something more fun. But it's also very normal for me to have a session of swimming in the morning and the run in the afternoon.
And okay, so I want to ask, well, I kind of know the answer, but what is your PB for 10K and 21, well, a half marathon? I don't think you've done a marathon yet.
No, not yet.
Okay, so because I don't think 5K speaks to a lot of people, but what is the best for 10 or 21?
10 kilometers, I believe the best I did was under 36 minutes. And for half marathon, under 80 minutes.
Under 80 minutes?
Yes, under 1 hour and 20 minutes.
So, okay, so for the 10K, what is the pace that we are talking about? What?
Just a bit over 3:30, like, I don't know, 3:35. Yeah.
And for the half is?
Like 3:45, I believe, or a little bit over it. Something under 3:50.
This is insane.
But now, to be honest, now this feels impossible for me. Like, these are results from many, many years ago.
Why not? Why not today?
I just don't think I'm in the shape for it yet. We'll get there. We'll get there
Yeah, I'm
eventually.
sure. And so your specialty is speed, right? Because you don't really do long distance.
Well, if you mean long distance like marathons, no. The longest run I've ever had in my life was 29 kilometers, actually, which I did a couple of weeks ago with some friends in a kind of talking pace. But as in competing, the
Talking.
longest. Come on.
Do you wanna define talking space for you?
I don't know, like 5-minute pace.
Okay. And what advice would you tell to someone that want to get faster for 10K or a half marathon?
Well, most importantly, set a realistic goal, I think. Don't just wake up one day and say, like, I'm going to break the world record, because that's ain't the case. Not in short terms. Like, that's like a 5-year plan or like a 10-year plan. Um, well, I believe that a combination of long runs and thresholds is probably the best way also to prevent injuries. You cannot just work with long runs. Like, I believe a lot of people think that, oh, if I'm preparing for a half marathon, I gotta do as many kilometers as I can. Wrong. Like, you need to train yourself,
Wrong.
or at least in my opinion, you gotta train your mental and physical like endurance for long runs, clearly. But it's also important to waken those muscles up that are responsible for speed. That way you're more prone to stay healthy and avoid injuries.
Aside from training the physical, I think there is also a mental aspect, because when you say to people that are kind of new to running, so yeah, I did a 5K or a 10K, they don't realize how hard it is when you push yourself very hard, because I honestly would prefer to run a marathon with a target pace rather than doing a 5 or 10K, because this is insanely difficult to keep up this high, this pace, you know. And when it comes to doing sports in general, what would you think is the best quality that one can have, and especially for a runner?
Definitely resilience and consistency. Um, like no matter if a training goes wrong, like there's no such thing as a training gone wrong. It's about you did your kilometers, you put the work in it, and in long terms it's gonna add up. Your leg's gonna remember those kilometers, your brain gonna remember all the pain you've gone through. Um, and on race day, you will be able to just put your form together and have an incredible and amazing run.
I think people tends to focus more on the micro details, like what I did during this session, whereas what really matters is what you did the months
The
before, the
journey.
year before, the kilometers you did like many months before, and this is what really will matter the time of the race. And speaking of race, because in Lisbon the time of the half and the full marathon is coming very close at the end of the month. Do you have advice for people running their first half or full marathon?
Well, first of all, try and enjoy it as much as you can, especially if it's your first race. And just don't set your expectations too high. Just enjoy the journey and be thankful that you can be there at the start line. I do believe that with marathons and half marathons, the biggest achievement is that you made it there healthy on the start line and that you've put all the work in there. You might have a bad day on the race, it might be raining, your stomach might not be feeling it, but you've done all the work for yourself. You got to know yourself better on the way, and I think that's what matters.
Yeah, in the end,
And good luck, of
good
course.
and good luck. Yeah, I think, yeah, the first is only about getting the first experience, and then the second is about maybe a time, but,
Yes.
or not. Actually, I think it's also a great idea to run only because you like running, and who cares about the time?
Yeah,
It's
most
also
people
an
do that. I see so many people even removing their watches for the day of the race, which I admire because I'm obsessed with the time. Like for me, if I'm there in on a start line of a race, I'm gonna go all out and I'm gonna try to do my best. And I genuinely am jealous of people that can just go for fun. Like, oh, I just enjoyed it. I just wanted to do a marathon because I wanted to.
yeah, honestly, that's so
Yeah.
great to see. Okay, all right. To finish this off, I have a few what I call flash questions.
Yeah.
So it's easy questions. You don't have to develop too much, okay? And very fast, don't worry. And then we'll be done.
This reminds me of my graduation from high school.
All right. So if running was not possible for you, which sport would you do?
Probably swimming.
Yeah, because you swim a lot, right?
Yes, I
Already.
I picked it up this year. Trying to get better at it. I'm drowning still, but I'm getting there.
Solo training or group sessions?
Very good question. Depends on the workout. In general, more of a group person. It's always great to have someone pushing you. However, for example, long runs, I just want to be with my own thoughts actually.
And speaking of this, running with or without music?
Ah, you got me there. I used to run without. Nowadays, I run with.
Are carbon shoes overrated?
No, I think they do magic. Don't get used to them. Don't train in them. Only put them out on race day.
The best outfit for a race?
The less, the better, I think.
The
The,
less.
I mean, the less clothes you've got, the lighter it is.
So
Um,
run naked, huh?
well, I mean, there are cameras, so you choose what you want to be seen in the pictures.
Running during a heat wave or in a storm?
Storm. Definitely storm.
Yeah, I would say so. Actually, when I have the rain, there is kind of a dramatic feeling,
Yes.
whereas the heat
Yes.
wave is disgusting to me.
Running in the dark
Yeah,
with the rain. I think it's very calming, very
yeah.
soothing.
What is the crazy challenge that you want to try next? It doesn't have to be about running.
I mean, I want to do a half Ironman, which is definitely a challenge. So I would say that.
All right. Well, that's about it.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
So thanks again, Esther. It was a pleasure to have you. I hope you had a good time
I had
and it
an
was
amazing
not okay, and it was not too stressful for her first interview. And thank you everyone for watching the episode. As always, if you liked, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any advice on how to improve, please leave a comment because this is homemade. I have a lot to improve. Let me know. I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, please let me know and I'll see you next time. Bisous bisous.